Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Moments Unplugged podcast. And thank you so much for tuning in. I am Mandisa Singwane, your host, and I'm so grateful to have you listening to this episode today. I'm going to start today's episode a little bit differently, and I'm going to go by saying happiness and sadness can coexist. Gratitude and frustration can coexist. Tears and a smile can coexist. And lastly, blessings and hardships can coexist. So, over the past week, I've been seeing this a lot on social media, and I had a conversation about this with a friend of mine. And so I thought, why not make a podcast about it? And so yes, here we are, and we're going to have this conversation. I want to lead by saying things don't have to be just one thing. They can be this and that. And discovering this has been one of the most liberating things in my life's journey and experiences. There's no need to feel caged up in one emotion or season. Both seasons and emotions can share a space and coexist. And so yes, you may be in an incredibly challenging season of your life, but it's 100% okay to acknowledge that on a particular day within that season, you are feeling amazing. And that specific day may be one of your best days you have ever had. And you do not have to feel bad about a good day in a tough or bad season. I think in most cases when we're in seasons of toughness, maybe academic wise or emotionally, we then tend to believe or have the idea that every day has to look like this, and I have to try and work out how to survive a season like this, instead of embracing a good moment when it comes. Maybe in that day you celebrate a friend's milestone and you guys go out and you have a good time. It doesn't mean you are neglecting your chapter. I think it's just a part of it, and not forgetting that if you exist in the happy moment with a lot of sadness, you might never get those moments again. And so one, you might live with a lot of guilt that, oh my gosh, when we celebrated my friend for this specific thing, I was so sad. Or even then, you might even spread that emotion within the room. Like people are smiling, happy, dancing, the works, and you are just down. But it's okay. It's just genuinely okay to escape from your season of hardship and be in another season within a day or two, a week, however long it is, and just embrace that moment. And I think sometimes we make the mistake of saying, oh, I'm going through a lot. I'm in a very bad season. I'm just not a happy person right now. And then when happy moments do present themselves, as in maybe you get the invite to celebrate this friend, you'll go, I'm not coming because I'm sad. Or I'm not coming because I'm just going through a lot. And little do you know, maybe that's the little escape that you need, just to smile a little, dance a little, and just let go a little. And this is relative. So, you will obviously look at your own situation and be like, maybe I can go, maybe I can't go. But sometimes not declining the invitation is exactly what you need. Giving yourself the grace to just have a good time. It's good for the mind, good for the body, good for the soul. Just give yourself the break, And so I'm going to give you a practical story of this happening in my life. And yeah, I think this happened a week or two ago. But yes, so I had a busy week, and I planned this busy week from the Sunday. I knew exactly what week I was going into, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure, but we'll do it, right? So getting into that week, I had to-do lists that were longer than the amount of hours in a day. I really wasn't sure how I was going to get it. I just really was not sure. I didn't know. And so obviously in that, I was just like, you know what? One day at a time, one step at a time, we'll be fine. All right, then I do the Monday. It's a long list. So some things obviously start to jump over to Tuesday. I'm like, okay. Tuesday in itself is already long, right? And I lost my what do I call it? I lost my rhythm in that week. So usually I have a normal bedtime, whatever. But I was tired that week because I was sleeping late. It was just, everything was just piling onto each other, right? So in that moment, I'm in utter frustration. But I'm just like, it's fine. It's 5 days. I will be fine. I'll get to the weekend and I'll just reboot, recuperate, and be fine, right? Within that week, I think it was the Thursday, I had an amazing day. Like, I really wish I could put this into a picture so you could understand. Like, the groggy, grumpy, tired me was nowhere to be found within that Thursday. It was an amazing day filled with good news, vibes, such a good time, man. And I was just like, I don't know what's happening here. But even when I was done with that entire like celebration vibe thing on the Thursday and I got back, I was just still in a good mood. Regardless of the fact that my to-do list was still waiting for me and nothing was like ticked off, it was a good time. And I think as soon as I allowed myself to acknowledge the fact that that Thursday was great, and unexpectedly so, it wasn't something I had planned to have like a great day, but it was just so freeing and I was so happy. And even when I had to start doing that stuff on my to-do list, I wasn't grumpy. It literally like lifted a lot off my shoulders. Not that it was gone, but I just did it with a better attitude and a little bit more grace for myself, because I think that particular day just, it made me lighter, if I can say. And guys, I think it liberated me so much in understanding that this is okay. And so allowing myself to feel happy and free on that Thursday made a very what could have seemed like a terrible week seem a little bit better and a little bit more, is endurable a word? Well, I could endure it a bit more. I know I was at the end of the week, but I just finished the week on a high rather than finishing the week on a, oh my gosh, I'm glad I'm done. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is what that stems from. And I hope you understand what I'm saying a little bit more. Obviously, it's relative and it can be placed into your own life and season. But it's okay to have a day that is completely different to what the season you're in is. So, yeah. And so I must add that I believe that having safe landings that God has placed around me in such seasons or times have made this experience a bit easier. Having people that give me the opportunity to live in a moment authentically and express it as it is. They make it safe for me to express each moment for what I feel it to be, rather than what I believe it should be. And maybe that's where we can all start. If you have no idea how to navigate this, find and pray for environments that allow you to be in that season or day, spaces that will allow you to keep being you regardless of what you're experiencing, environments that will foster your vulnerability and unapologetic authenticity. And in reality, this is all practical because those are the very same environments that shape you and allow you to show up in the world as the best you that you can possibly be. All because you're backed by a firm support structure. People that will laugh with you until your stomachs ache the one day, but they will also give you a tissue and an ear and a shoulder to cry on the next day without making you feel like you're a mess for not having everything all figured out. And I'm going to be honest, for me, this took some time because I'm not one of the most vulnerable people from the get-go. And so the people close to me, my friends and family will attest to this. I'm not really always that open with whatever I'm experiencing or going through. But over the years, it's become easier. And so I now understand that having them always there, and sometimes they just... I don't even know that I need them, but they just figure it out. Being able to express whatever it is authentically, really honestly is part of the reason why I show up in the way I do. And it's so freeing to understand that you don't have to make a show for these people. I know sometimes in the spheres that we are in, like maybe in your academic life, your leadership life, whatever the case may be, you are the strong person. And so in those spaces, you don't have to be that person at all whatsoever. And that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to be the same person, especially in your safe spaces. Vulnerability in your safe spaces allows you so much freedom and so much healing as well. And so, yeah, I hope this episode frees you from some emotions or seasons that you may be experiencing. And I really hope you navigate them with a little bit more grace on yourself. Experience each moment and each day for what it is and allow yourself to be human. Navigate and find your safe spaces. And I really pray and hope that when you find your safe spaces, they just fill you with so much joy and love. And yes, thank you so much for listening. And I hope you have a great and productive week further. And yeah, bye guys.